The year was 1996. Professional wrestling was as hot as two naked fat guys making out in a hot tub, but all of that was about to change. Today we discuss the controversial Madison Square Garden curtain call that altered the course of professional wrestling forever and examine what if it had never happened. To begin, we must first have an understanding of how important kayfabe was in those days. The heels didn't hang around the baby faces and vice versa, as to maintain the legitimacy of the business. Anybody caught breaking kayfabe would get heat on them and possibly lose their spot or job out as punishment. Breaking kayfabe was a major no-no, as most fans thought wrestling was fully legit. Also, we must look at the group of men involved in this incident known as the Kliq, consisting of Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Sheldon Waltman. They had a strong backstage power and used it to their advantage by staying in high-profile matches and feuds. Waltman, although, was not involved in this incident as he was in drug rehab at the time. In April of 1996, Hall and Nash signed with the WCW as their contracts were up with the WWF. Their last matches took place on May 19, 1996 in Madison Square Garden. After a steel cage match between Michaels and Nash, Hall entered the ring and hugged Michaels, which wasn't an issue since both men were babyfaces at the time. Helmsley then entered the ring, followed by Nash, and they both hugged Hall. The four men then had a group hug together, followed by a curtain call, and while they were breaking kayfabe, it said that they had permission to do this, and probably wouldn't have been as bad as it was if it wasn't for two fans filming the whole thing. Pictures then made it to the magazines, creating a stir, and with this, someone had to be punished. Hall and Nash were out the door to WCW, and Michaels was the current WWF champion, which left Helmsley to take the brunt of it all. Helmsley was in line to win the annual King of the Ring tournament, but was relegated to jobbing and feuding with low-level wrestlers. This is where Steve Austin comes into play. After coming off a lackluster run as the appointed $1 Million champion, the Ringmaster, Austin then changed his gimmick to Stone Cold Steve Austin and was given the spot meant for Helmsley. After defeating Jake the Snake Roberts to win the '96 King of the Ring, Austin cut the now infamous Austin 3:16 promo, which became the biggest catchphrase in wrestling history and the dawning of the Attitude Era, resulting in the WWF ultimately winning the Monday Night Wars. So what if it had never happened? Would the WWF have won the ratings war against the WCW, or would the WCW have reigned supreme? The introduction of Hall and Nash's new faction, the NWO, they made it cool to like wrestling again. They were edgy, they were full of, dare I say, attitude. The WWF had to come up with something quick to compete with this. So they slowly made their product more realistic and cut out more of the cartoonish characters, but would it have been enough without the curtain call happening? I mean, sure, the following year the Screwjob happened, and that was another major event in shaping the Attitude Era, but without Stone Cold Steve Austin winning the King of the Ring, would he have become the star he is today, arguably one of the biggest stars ever, or would he have been kept in the lower to mid-card area? It's hard to say. The wrestling landscape would be totally different today. It's crazy to think that with no curtain call, there's possibly no Austin 3:16, there's possibly no Attitude Era at all. So let's just be grateful that things turned out the way they did. What do you think the wrestling world would look like if this event never took place? Did you enjoy this video? Then like it, share it, and subscribe it to see more content from us. As always, I'm Brass, you're you. We'll see ya.